If you're a fan of The Sims, then you have most certainly heard of InZOI, a game that promises to add a little bit of competition into The Sims world where previously there was none. So I'll be doing a little bit of a deep dive into InZOI and just seeing how it kind of compares with The Sims. Also, keeping in mind, InZOI just came out in early access, so what we're getting right now isn't the final product. Starting up InZOI, you'll see a short little cutscene of a girl running to get to what you can assume is the first day of her new job. Getting there, you'll be presented with a laptop, and here is where you can start your game, which throws you immediately into creating a ZOI. This section had me a little bit giddy. So in InZOI, you can choose a trait that basically determines your ZOI's personality. Each trait comes with a set of values and keywords that will define your ZOI. For example, the go-getter trait, your ZOI will be efficient, ambitious, introverted, and a workaholic, while their values are autonomy, traditionalist, authority, and accomplishment. The characteristics section will basically tell you how these translate when you play. So your sim will feel confident a lot. When they get nervous, it will last longer, and they'll tend to avoid conversation. So where The Sims had you create a kind of custom personality by choosing a handful of traits, here you kind of pick a personality that has traits that will work and mesh together. Moving on to the customization aspects, I love the variety of presets here, different nationalities that really actually stand out from each other with detailed defining features. The level of editing you can do here is insane. Basically, every little aspect of a feature can be altered. So in terms of facial editing, I think InZOI has it in the bag here. Onto clothing, and initially I really loved the styles, and I still do, but I kind of realized that it's all quite a similar taste. Which, again, it's totally my taste, but when I thought about maybe different ZOIs I'd want to create in the future, I don't feel like there's enough variety in the clothing here. Like, what if I wanted a homeless ZOI or someone who didn't have any taste and had terrible clothing? I think everything I would have chosen here would have made them all look amazing. Finally, you get to pick a desired life, so this will align your ZOI to some skills and may or may not fit with the traits that you chose. I'm honestly not too sure how this actually impacts your ZOI other than giving them some preferred skills. Following ZOI creation, you'll get to choose a world. There's currently 2 available, a kind of Californian American setting and a Korean town setting. The worlds open up on the little iPad, which is a really cool view. I noticed not too many housing options. I can see a few houses already occupied and then a handful of vacant lots to choose from, 2 apartments and 2 houses. So it seems like it's similar to The Sims 4 in that you can see a house and it's there, but it might not be an actual playable house. Which I was really hoping it wouldn't be like this. I was more hoping like Sims 3, where every house you see is a playable house and it's got a really nice big map with lots of options, but I kind of get it. It would take a lot to run that. Moving into the main gameplay here, this is where I had a lot of fun discovering what this game had to offer. Before this, I had not seen a single video, nothing on the gameplay, so I was going in completely fresh. So there are a lot of interactions to be had here. Interacting with other Sims has so many social choices to choose from taking selfies, high-fiving, and talking about the household budget. There's a lot of options to choose from. Something I was kind of confused about at this point is that I had made a husband and wife to begin with, but they were basically strangers. So I had to spend quite a lot of time getting their relationship up, but I guess certain social choices either increase friendship, family relationship, or work relationship. So for some strange reason, my married Sims became work colleagues, basically. And I found it really difficult to find social choices that would increase the family relationship. So I found that a bit odd. I don't think you should have a work relationship option with your wife that you don't actually work with. But that's just me. So aside from social choices, there's loads of other things to do. You can do things like vacuum and mop if you have those items in your house. Additional gym equipment means more choices there as well. So at the end of it, I think InZOI does have a bit more variety in just what you can do, and it does make it feel much more immersive and realistic. I did notice though that some items don't really have as many interactions like The Sims do. For example, a bed seems to have basically you can sleep in it and assign a person, whereas in The Sims, there's like a few different things you can do there. The fridge as well doesn't really have many options to it. And I couldn't even figure out how to cook a family meal. I could only cook single meals, which was a bit frustrating. So it's like, I think InZOI has more items that you can interact with, but less interactions with items, if that makes sense. Next up, traveling across town. It does have loading screens at times. So I could walk my sim down the street to a park, but then if I want them to go somewhere where they'll take a bus, I get a loading screen. Community places do seem a bit more natural and alive. Shops actually look more like cluttered, proper shops. And there's loads of stuff to do as well. I even went to the pier with the rides. Duh. And I could actually get on these, which I wasn't expecting, and it was pretty cool. Similar to The Sims, you'll also get a smartphone. Here you can set up locations where you want your Sims to go to on a regular basis. So if you want your Sim and her daughter to go to the park every day on a Thursday afternoon, then you can pop that in and they will do it automatically. There's also a shopping app, kind of like Uber Eats, I think, where you can order food and other items. You can get messages from people and actually go back and read them and choose a response, which is totally awesome. Here you can also see contacts, apply for school, careers, pay bills, and so on. So it's really cool and detailed. Moving on to build mode, which was a special kind of hell for me. It's actually quite technical and in a way where I suppose it allows for way more customization, but man, I found it tough. And I was just trying to add in a kid's room. Like, I'm not a really big builder. I'm also not a really big create a sim person either. I'm more about the gameplay. So these two I didn't spend too much time in. But heaven forbid I ever try to build a house in this game. But yeah, definitely don't find it as user-friendly as The Sims. I also noticed I had a lot of money and I could really just buy whatever I wanted. This was nice, but in another way, it kind of stops that push of me wanting to like get a really awesome job and make a lot of money. So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that part. But overall, honestly, there's one thing I really don't like about InZOI, and it's the time. Time goes very slowly. I think in a 3-hour play session, I did 3 days in game. It's just so slow, and I tried to speed it up, but it doesn't seem to speed up as quickly as I'd like. So when waiting for people to come home from work or school, like I had a stay-at-home mum, and it just took forever, and I just found myself doing random things to pass the time and hoping it would hurry up. And then at nighttime, when it automatically speeds up because everyone's asleep, it's still quite slow. And that kind of killed it for me. I don't know. After I finally got my 2 married Sims to the point where they could actually touch each other without wanting to vomit, I got them to try for a baby to see what kind of life stages we had for kids, but damn, I just don't have 5 hours to wait for her to have a baby, you know? Like, you can get so much done and really live a full day here. It's amazing the kind of stuff you can do, and if you're really into like the nitty-gritty of every day, then you're gonna love this. But for me, I'm a bit more bigger picture. Like, I kind of wanted to get through and have a family and try a lot of stuff out to kind of see how it all works, and I really didn't have enough time to get it to that point. But yeah, that's just a really broad and quick overview of a few aspects of InZOI. Obviously, there's so much more I could go into. I still have so much to play and try out. Like, I'm not even close to really kind of figuring out what InZOI is all about. So weighing it up against The Sims, I think InZOI has some better aspects, such as the immersiveness, realistic vibes, and details. But then some are worse, like The Sims having more user-friendly menus, just generally feeling like a more well-rounded game, and time flows better. And while it's an extremely similar game, it feels completely different. So this is again just my super first impressions. I will be playing it a lot more, So far, I am really impressed, and I will try and get past the time issue. But I am really interested to see how it develops. I don't think at this point it is a replacement for The Sims, at least not yet. More like another addition for a Sims fan to have fun with along with The Sims. Because again, they don't really feel the same, even though they're pretty much the same game. It's a weird feeling. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think. If anyone else thinks the time is really slow, I'd love to know. I actually haven't looked into what anyone else thinks about this game, so I hope my views maybe align with other people's so everyone doesn't get angry at me, but whatever. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!